Chapter. We're talking real money.
It's the Talking Real Money radio program live on a Saturday from Bellevue, Washington at the Maidenbauer Center for Retiremeet 2025. I'm Don McDonald. Tom is out gallivanting. His position has been usurped for the entirety of the show so far. And, you know, I think it's actually maybe one of the best shows we've ever done. It's really been fun. So we're glad you're there. If you want to call, there's Tom. Don't say we said anything. 855-935-TALK is our phone number. 855-935-8255. Love to answer your questions and talk to you about money matters of all kinds. I can adjust her volume, but you're okay. All right. So anyway, several times a year, Tom has been good enough to give me a Friday podcast off where I do a Q&A podcast every Friday where I take the questions you send into talkingrealmoney.com and I do a question and answer. Well, we get a lot of your questions on paper, on email. And so Tom wanted to get through those questions. So he brought aboard as one of the co-hosts of our program for the Q&A sessions, Roxy Butner, who is one of our advisors at Appella Wealth. And Roxy has been moving on up in the media business here at Appella. And now she was one of the presenters at today's Retiremeet talking about, Roxy.
Yeah, it was really fun.
What were you talking about?
We were talking about empowering the next generation of investors, which really is just how can we help our younger ones get started earlier so that they can actually really take advantage of that compound growth, different ideas. So different, fund a Roth for them or a 529 or.
Well, given that you're a whole lot younger than I am, so you're one of those younger ones.
No, but the difference between, even 25 to 35 is astronomical when you look at that compound growth, which is why I asked the audience actually, what's the Warren Buffett's eighth wonder of the world? That
would be compound interest.
There you go.
Good for you. Now, as someone who is not at retirement age like so many of our presenters and participants, what did you find to be challenging as you were moving into the business world about saving and investing for retirement?
I think for me personally, my folks didn't have a lot of investment knowledge, and there's a ridiculous amount of people, a ridiculous portion of the population who really doesn't know even the basics about personal finance. And that's what I've encountered in a lot of conversations with friends and younger folks. And I felt the same way, but I decided to go and actually learn finance so I could figure it out, but not everybody
So you
does
actually
that.
took coursework on
Yeah,
finances.
I decided I'll just...
But where would you, like a friend, you got someone, a peer of yours, where do you suggest they go? Or do you suggest they go somewhere to get knowledge, the knowledge needed to eventually start saving and investing?
One thing I told everybody in the crowd is if they can get introduced to a financial professional, that is based in evidence-based investing and some sort of academic kind of based investing, that's the best possible option. But really, there's so much information out there on social media. It's really hard for these young people to sort through to figure out.
That's what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
How do you sort the garbage, which is the majority of it, I would guess.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it all.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate between the garbage and the quality information?
Yeah, it's really, really difficult. I think to be quite frank, it comes down to who do you know in your life and asking around and being curious and trying to fact check your sources. That's at least one thing the younger generation was taught in school, which is great. So but it is difficult for them. I think finding people that you trust and also having an open mind. Just the first opinion you hear should not be the end all be all.
Now, if you could suggest one podcast for your friends to listen to, what would that podcast be?
I think
Benjamins.
I actually have recommended Talking Real Money, and I think that you guys are great because people actually aren't bored. You guys have great banter.
We're actually not boring.
You're not boring. For a financial podcast.
That's high praise. So you're saying Joe Salsihai is boring then?
No, not at all. Dear God.
Darn it.
He gave me some great tips today, actually.
Yeah, actually, Joe, he helped Roxy out before her presentation.
It was great.
So that was awesome. Well, Roxy, it is such a thrill to see you do this stuff and to watch the growth as you as an advisor and on the show. I love having you I listen to the podcast that you and Tom do together, and And I want to thank you for all the cool stuff you do.
Well,
thank
thanks,
you so
Don.
much.
Appreciate it.
And we'll be back in a minute. I think I'm even going to let Tom join me, so don't go away. 855-935-TALK.
Tom and Don are talking real money. Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
All right. You can have the chair back.
Oh,
Jeez.
God, if I didn't take it back right now, that was going to be it. I'd never see it again. So happy.
No, there were some different voices.
Yeah, and they're trying to shove me out the door, and I'm not liking it. So I'm glad to be back in here. Thank you.
You know, Joe was pretty good.
He's very good. Roxy's very good.
Great.
Makes me quite nervous. So.
Roxy is nicer than you are.
Well, that goes without saying. So
Ricky's nicer than you are.
The world is full of those people. So if we're going to go through a list of that, it's going to be a long show, my friend.
Yeah. How's your carriage? How's your horse and carriage outside?
It's waiting.
Tom's our favorite Luddite here. How'd that QR code work out for you?
I'm still waiting for my order from DoorDash. So
okay. Anyway, welcome back to Talking Real Money. We're at Retiremeet 2025 at the Maidenbauer Center in Bellevue, where we do
not invite people down here.
I didn't invite anybody down.
Or I'm going to give them the other half of your sandwich or something.
I didn't. No, I ate all my sandwich.
Okay.
I ate all my
the other half of mine.
And by the way, the sandwiches are still good.
Yeah, they are good.
Although I did not have the roast beef this time.
Oh, what'd you go with?
I went with the turkey because the roast beef had blue cheese on it.
You don't like blue cheese?
It was cheddar before.
I love me some blue cheese.
No, give me some cheddar.
Right.
I'm very.
They do a nice job here. Everything's been quality. We've done almost everyone here, right? We broke it up one. We went somebody over by the Toys R Us.
Or something.
The one over by. The one COVID.
Oh, the one COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We did the whole one on.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So never broke the streak.
As a matter of fact, just the first play, COVID coincided with a Retiremeet. Remember?
Yeah, because we thought we were going to have to cancel it.
Yeah, because just one case.
Yep.
In the Seattle area, and I think I took it back to Florida.
I think you did. I blame you for the outbreak there. Yeah, I've been telling people that for a long time.
I
I'm hoping that the Department of Social Services picks you up soon and puts you in jail.
So how do you feel about the?
I'm blown away because you got up this week has been. Seattle is one of these places where it snows an inch, it's over. People just say forget it. So all week,
or up on the top of Tom's Mountain, 18 inches.
Yeah, I know. So, but all week it's been every night we've gone to bed like no more snow. Then there'd be 3 inches. I mean, so it's been like snowing every night. And then, as you know, I decided to stay in Bellevue because I'm like, I don't want to deal with the driving in case it's bad. So I got up this morning at like 4:30, looked out the window, looked fine. I'm like, this is great. And then I'm looking at my phone and it says light snow flurries. I'm like, no snow flurries. And then my wife texted me like, oh, it's really snowing at home, another 3 inches. Taylor, my son, lives out of town. Oh, it's really snowing here more. And then I started looking at the traffic cams snowing everywhere. I'm like, oh, no, it's not going to happen.
So I need you to be honest with me.
Yes.
Right now. Did you freak out?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Cause I got an inside source who said you were kind of freaking out this morning.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you don't know Tom, that's not unusual.
It's a good thing the window wouldn't open. Let's just put it that way.
Every year before Retiremeet, for like 3 months prior, Tom is convinced this is going to be the 1 year we will not sell out.
And that's why I think we should kill it now because it hasn't happened.
It never happened.
Go out on top. So I was very worried. And then, wow, the room is full. It's just shocking. So thank you all for coming down here.
Yeah.
And before the snow, the next snow, whenever it is, apparently it's not going away. So
it's winter.
No. Okay.
That's when it snows.
It's supposed to be 18 degrees at my house next Tuesday. That's crazy.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I can top that.
Do not share what is going to be in Central Florida next week. No one wants to know.
Yes, you do.
You prefer not to even think about it.
I don't care if you want to know then. I want to know.
I'll call you this summer when it's 99 and 99.
What date's going to be 18?
I think it's Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning. Oh, gosh. Yeah. The high on Tuesday is only going to be 84. Oh, but wait.
The same country?
Thursday, we're going to suffer.
Oh, good.
90 degrees.
90 degrees?
90 degrees on Thursday.
So I'd like to know between here and there, which is like 3,200 miles, where do you start to see how far do I have to go until I get to like 70 or something?
A long way.
Okay, because that just seems so weird that, it's like
Texas.
Right there.
Texas.
Texas. Okay. Not going to happen. So I'm here.
You could go visit Joe.
And I love the work Joe did. He was really great. This is a topic he spent time on, sort of what to do in retirement, how to have purpose. It's not a topic that we give enough attention to. He mentioned a statistic that I read in a Larry Swedroe book a number of years that the highest suicide rate in the United States is men over the age of 70, which is just shocking. But men don't have that purpose.
I don't think that just doesn't feel surprising to me.
When I read it the first time, I went, whoa, because, you think about young people in despair, whatever it is, but but anyway.
No, because the human condition is one of activity.
Yeah. And when you don't have it.
And that was what kind of what I was trying to point at. I
appreciate your honesty, by the way, about your brain activity, but not other activity. I thought that was good.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not active
terrible.
other than that.
I'm terrible. I keep my brain really busy.
Other than that.
Although I did have a very nice gentleman come up to me and go, "Oh, you look like you've lost some weight from last year." And I went,
Love you, man.
There you go.
We learned last night that Apollo Lupescu, who is going to be speaking here shortly.
Yeah, he's
who
with
looks like he's about 30 or maybe younger. He swims an hour and a half a day. Well,
he's a serious swimmer.
I don't care what kind of swimmer. He's showing you a picture. Now, I think he looks younger in the picture there, but okay, that's fine.
It's a radio show, right?
It doesn't really matter what the picture shows.
Oh, you're taking a picture.
I thought
she was showing.
I thought she was showing. Look how much younger you guys look here than you did there. Oh, God, thanks a lot.
His hair is much browner.
I know.
There.
Yeah, amen.
Yours is still white.
So, Joe did and Apollo is always off the charts. Joe did a wonderful job. He great addition. Kanoa Ostrom, our estate planner, he finished his entire presentation in 20 minutes. He's the estate, and then he did 10 minutes. So I came up and I said, "How many lawyers don't use up their allotted time?" I mean, when was the last time? I'm done early.
We used to have a lawyer who could. I'm not naming names or anything, but
he'd still be going had we not ended retirement.
He could talk.
Yeah. But Kanoa goes right through it, and then people had all these questions. It was fabulous. So, which I hope they don't ask us, because you get into these dynasty trusts and GSTs and all.
The first two questions you gave me were Social Security complex questions.
Ugh, horrible questions.
They're so complicated.
I know. It's really a nightmare.
And they're so particular.
Here's the thing about Social Security. The God's honest truth, before you claim it, you should talk to somebody else, a professional, because you don't want to mess it up. You get one shot, and it's not just you, it's you and your spouse.
Yeah.
It's and you're doing the right thing because you're waiting till 70. I'm doing the right thing. Well, we assume we're waiting till 70.
No, I am waiting till 70.
Well, but if something happens, then you may, if you find out next week that you're terminal, then you should file for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it may happen, but.
That's one of the things I don't do a lot of is these what ifs.
Terminal? Oh, okay.
No, the what if scenarios. I don't go like.
We're kind of in the what if business, but, anyway, but it's overlooked. Way overlooked. I think not nearly 75% of retirement income comes from Social Security. And people, it's still half of the country that wakes up at age 62 and says, just give me mine. For all the stupid reasons, political reasons, like selfish reasons. I just want my money.
It's probably, these days, it's a lot political.
It's the most people that's the biggest reason they say they took it at 62 is because they don't think it's going to be there. Congress is never going to fix this. So, and I think in Congress, it's the most hated discussion since the balanced budget amendment.
Oh, I think they hate it more than that.
Well, it's just, I don't want to fix that. I don't have to raise tax. Yeah, somebody's going to have to pay more tax, or they're going to have to cut some other entitlements.
And look at that.
The money.
We made it through an hour and 23 minutes with nothing political until you got here.
And I'm the guy who was saying, don't do that.
Don't go political.
You're going to have to raise some tax to pay for that. Sorry.
Here's what's going to happen right now. Tom is going to take over, because I am going to shuffle.
And people need to call because I'm here by myself.
Yeah, so you need to call 855-935-TALK.
Good time to call.
855-935-8255. I'm going to go do a raffle and introduce somebody, so stick around.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hey, welcome back to Talking Real Money. We're here every Saturday live, taking your questions, your calls, chatting it up. And today, the unique experience of doing this from the Maidenbauer Center in Bellevue, Washington, where I'm not a native, but I grew up here. I mean, went to Medina Elementary School, Bellevue Junior High School, which is now covered, I think, by part of Bellevue Square, and then Bellevue High School right down the road. So I'm a pretty local guy, but we love your calls. 855-935-TALK. Don's not here anymore, so got more room. and we could talk to you and take up whatever questions. I got a lot of other questions, but I'd rather talk to you one-on-one. And with that, let's go to Ottawa, Canada. Jeff, thank you for being part of Talking Real Money.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I just have a question about my dad's portfolio. I'm calling really on behalf of him.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm from Canada. I called in a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
I probably remember we talked quite a bit. Yeah. So my dad's got a bit of exposure to the U.S. market through S&P 500 ETF that I got him into. He's heavily invested in about 3 major Canadian banks that have high dividend yields, and he really loves yields. He's 75. He's a retired public servant, and I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on what if he should be shuffling out of the Canadian banks that are doing, relatively quite well. I just thought I'd call in to see if you had any thoughts on that.
Here's the thing. Yes, I would. If I woke up tomorrow, would I build a portfolio that was made up of the Standard & Poor's 500, the 500 largest companies in the United States, and a few banks? Yeah, I would. I guess I don't think it's a good portfolio, because the predominant amount of it is in large U.S. companies, which have been great place to invest recently, but over the long haul, better to be in small value, international, to really diversify. People think they're in the S&P 500 and they got diversification, but about 25% of your money in that is invested in 7 stocks. And you don't need me to remind you which 7 those are. So it's not a very diversified portfolio. So would I change that? Yeah, I would. But here's the thing. It's, and we don't like individual stocks and don't like individual companies, even though we own them, but we own thousands of them. So I don't buy them one at a time because they're too risky. And I've been up close and personal and seen things like Washington Mutual happen. In fact, I just listened to another podcast about the ungluing of Enron, which reminded me that companies that look so great from the outside can really blow up right at the end. You have no idea how bad it is. But your dad is 75. Not that that's old, but you said he likes the dividend payouts. He likes his portfolio. I just wonder if it would really be great for you to go in as a son and go, Dad, I just talked to my financial guy and we're going to change your whole portfolio. You got to diversify. You got to do this and this and this. It could really ruin Thanksgiving. I know it's not a big celebration in Canada, but it could ruin another holiday, right? I mean, so I just don't know. I'm very reluctant with people that are older to tell them go change everything, get over it, and take a different portfolio. I think it's difficult, and the family dynamic could be ruptured by that kind of thing.
Yeah, so you're probably, if I understand you correctly, you're probably saying you shouldn't change anything, or if he is going to change, you should probably put in something like low risk, like maybe I don't know, like we've got securities up here that are similar to CDs or bond ETFs. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Yeah. So, and maybe what you do is you keep the S&P 500, and then over time you convince him to start selling some of his shares in those Canadian banks. And that money goes into bond or bond-like instruments, gives you some balance to the portfolio. But beyond that, no. I mean, and I've had this experience, as you may know, over the years. I've talked about it sometimes where at family gatherings, people, my wife's relatives will come in and say, I heard you say this. Why should I change? I'm like, no offense, you're 80. I mean, how much changing can you do at 80? I mean, I guess you can do some, but it's like, why would you just, so maybe it's incremental. Maybe you're right there, Jeff. You just, a little bit of that money, you sell it off from those banks and you move it into something that's a little less risky than individual securities. But God bless your dad. And I think it's great that you're thinking about him, but I wouldn't be making any major changes. 855-935-TALK is our number, and we'll continue live from the Maidenbauer Center here on Talking Real Money.
Tom and Don are talking real money. Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Hey, welcome back to Talking Real Money. Tom Cock here, Don McDonald, back in the master big ballroom, ready to introduce Paul Lupescu from Dimensional Funds. And he's a fantastic speaker. By the way, if you couldn't make it today, the entire day long, all the speakers, the whole thing will be available online. I think if you go to Apello Wealth, you can still figure out a way to sign up. If you don't, send me a note and we'll get it to you in a couple of weeks. So you can go back and watch it. And I think you can fast forward past Don's part so you can get rid of him. Be pretty good, but don't tell him I said that. Our telephone number, 855-935-TALK. And from Canada, let's go to Mukilteo and talk with Sharon. Hi, Sharon.
Hi there. Yeah, I got a quick question. I'm going to be 70 at the end of the year. I'm still working. And I'm going to start collecting my Social Security when I turn 70. And I'm wondering approximately how much my Medicare is going to be. Not the hospital, but the supplemental.
Yeah, I couldn't answer that for you. Because I don't know. That's a Kevin Peterson guy. The question was about because we've got people here about, after you start collecting, and maybe Dan will know this, after you start collecting Social Security, what your Medicare premium will look like anyway. So I don't know any of those rules. So, here's the thing. Number one, I'm glad. What's that? You got an answer? Depends. Thank you. It depends. Wouldn't surprise us to say that. First of all, congratulations on waiting till age 70, because in my talk today, I talk about how half of us still wake up at 62 and take the benefit, which is so costly. And Social Security makes up about 75% of the average person's income. So you really want to game it carefully. You'd probably have to go to somebody like a Kevin Peterson or somebody else who's in the Medicare business to get an exact read on that number. Although, okay, if you go to Talking Real Money and Don's saying no, he doesn't know either. If you go to Talking Real Money and send us a question, we could probably get an advisor to answer it. So
okay,
Don wants to know what he did.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I wasn't very helpful, but I apologize for that.
I know that's fine.
All right. From Mukilteo, we're going to Oklahoma. Thank you. And talk to Adam. It was a Social Security plus,
those are hard.
Plus Medicare kind of.
Yeah, those are hard. I'm not mad at you. They are.
Okay. They're good. Adam joins us from Oklahoma. How are you?
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. So, I was calling in. It must be parents' retirement hour. Question for you. My parents, you guys kind of don't like annuities so much, and my dad almost fell for the annuity steak dinner trap. And looking into it, they got about $800,000, and ended up doing half in stock and then half in annuities that produce income. And I just got a question. What is the downside? Looking at like your 5% fixed, about half of the annuity produces $43,000 a year, which if you base the $800,000, if you take a 5%, that's $40,000. So you still have half your money in stocks, and then you still get the same more income actually. So I just want to know kind of what's wrong with that? And
yeah. Okay. So the question, and I'm sharing it with the folks here. What is, if you purchased an annuity and you're getting substantial income from that annuity, and then part of it is getting growth because it's invested in stocks, why not do that? Well, why not is all the reasons that I use. Number one, what is it costing to get that 5%? Because right now you could go to almost anywhere in a money market fund and get a similar amount that costs almost nothing. Number two is you could put it in that money market, and tomorrow you could wake up and take all the money for whatever you needed. So, because once you give it to the annuity company, it's no longer yours. Then on the second part around the stocks, this is such a half-hearted promise that the companies make you. Is generally what they say is you get some part of the stock market return. And, they don't give you the dividends. They don't give you, sometimes they cap the growth. It's always so complicated. And so if you're already in it and your parents are getting the income and they're happy, well, then I'd say keep on going. But I would always analyze what the cost of surrendering that today would be versus how much you're paying for getting that regular income before I made a decision. 855-935-TALK is our telephone number. We'll continue live from the Maidenbauer Center in Bellevue on Talking Real Money.
Tom and Don are talking real money. your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
To Talking Real Money. We're taking your calls live here from the Maidenbauer Center in Bellevue, where we are hosting Retiremeet 2025. This is amazing. This is the 11th year of doing this event, and we've sold out the in-person, every one of them. I think faster than Taylor Swift sells her tickets. I have to check, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. And then we had another like 400 people online that paid to be part of that. It's incredible. And I asked a lot of people what they like about it. And by the way, one woman gave me dog biscuits because they heard the dog on the show. She said, take your dog. You're kind of mean to him on the show, so I'll take those home. A couple other people gave me cards. I have a lot of gratitude for being able to host this and seeing all of you. So it's been fun, but we still have some time left on the show today. You'd be happy to talk to you. 855-935-TALK. And right now we're going to go to Will in Virginia and chat it up with Will. Hey, Will, how are you?
Doing well, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is always a fun day for me because all the reasons I just mentioned, but then I get to see so many people that there's people who've come to every one of these. I'm always like, are you looking for something to do? I mean, it's like, it doesn't change that much as, oh no, I picked up this and this and that. So yeah, it's a fun day for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been looking forward to watching the video, and $5, you certainly get your money's worth. You get your money's worth. And here's the other thing. We don't keep the $5. We give that to 2 organizations that promote financial literacy. So it's not our money. So that's a couple grand we're going to give to, Go. One of the thoughts for your future idea is the Merriman Financial Education Foundation. Yes, I have given them money as well. What are the two organizations you support? Gosh, thank you for, I can't remember. We gave them checks last year. We're going to do the same 2 this year. They're both intimately involved in educating people, helping people understand how money works, the very basics of it all. They have some courses, very good, but I don't remember off the top of my head, but I love doing that. Spot, but the first time we talked was back in 2022. And I remember I was walking my dog when I heard Don calling out to Molly. And I was walking Molly the other day, and this is a joke, not intended to offend anyone's politics. It just happens to be ironic, or we live in very interesting times. How do you spell felon, Tom? How do you spell felon? Okay, if I spell it right, then what happens? Just the other day. F-E-L-O-N? Am I right there? I don't know. I could be wrong. Yeah, or as some people would say in this country, F-Elon. Yeah, well, we got to be careful with things like that. So, and the show is not political in nature. But thank you. It's not political. He's not a politician. Yeah, but my question is, I sent you an email back in 22. You changed companies. Yes. If I send you an email to the same address, same address still works. Same. You use Tom at Vestry, and that still one works. So you can still send me a note. I've been working on my RMD solution that you know about, and I will send you an email this week, my friend. Thank you. You'll get it early next week. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. You do a lot of work educating people, and you got to, especially in these interesting times, we got to keep to the basics and the fundamentals. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, and back to thank you, Will, for your call. And this is inside baseball to our screener because I don't have Don's phone anymore. So if we have any more calls, you can just pop them through, I guess. Hope for the best. But the thing about politics and your money is the reason that we purposely don't discuss it. Number one, everybody's got an opinion. Number 2, people get emotional about politics on no matter which side you are. And what happens then is you make bad decisions. Either you're feeling so great about things. Oh, I got to go invest in this, this, and this because the future looks great. Or conversely, which you've heard a lot of, I got to sell everything, get my money out because the place is going to, you know what, in a handbasket. So try and keep that away from your money. Try to keep your emotions separated from making financial decisions. And it's a fascinating study that Vanguard does every year. They do a thing called the Advisor Alpha study, where they look at if you hire a fee-only 100% fiduciary advisor who uses low-cost index or index-like products, the difference that can make in returns between what you would do and what they would do.
And it's about 3% a year, because people say, well, you charge 1% a year. How do I? It's 3% a year. But you know where a lot of that gain comes from is building the right plan, keeping you inside the guardrails, and not letting you do bad things to your money, because this is what people do over and over. And the number of you that I've talked to in the last 3 months, not getting political here, but they were upset by what happened in November. And so as a result of that, I'm going to do X. Those people, that's a bad decision, because nobody, by the way, still knows what all of that is going to mean, right? I mean, is it going to mean more tariffs? Well, probably. Is it going to mean a change in tax policy? Maybe, maybe not. Is it going to mean interest rates go down or up? Maybe. And things that you think, well, just because you have a new administration, this is going to happen. I don't even think you can count on that. And the market right now is very topsy-turvy, because it doesn't know what direction it's going to happen. It doesn't know Congress is going to cooperate. There's a lot of things that stand in between what certainly seems like it's going to happen and what actually will happen. Your portfolio should be designed for you. That is how much risk you need to take in it and how much volatility you're willing to accept, what rate of return you're trying to achieve, right? And how much ups and downs you think are okay in your portfolio. Then all of the rest of this comes along and is the backdrop. It's there. It's changing every day. And there's this news and there's that news. We have fascinating conversation last night with Apollo Pescu, who's now speaking, talking about changes in tax rates and what that means to stock market prices. And when you look around the globe for a long period of time, there's no correlation between countries that change their tax rate and the stock market returns. But we all want to believe, for example, Republicans are going to cut taxes, and that's going to mean better stock market returns. Just hasn't been the case historically. It's been very equal between Republicans and Democrats and returns. So thank you, Will, for the call and the comment, and just talking a little politics here. And
you're not supposed to be talking politics.
I know, but
Apollo's right now talking about this very thing.
I know, because people are asking about it. They want to know. And my basic take is that stuff comes along, it goes away, and what's important to you is what's in your plan, right? How much money you're trying to make, how much volatility you're willing to accept, liquidity, all those kind of things. The rest of it is frankly conversation. Yeah,
it's a lot of noise, a lot of consternation too. Not just conversation, but a great deal of consternation.
Indeed.
I just introduced Apollo.
Yes, you did.
We're
You're
done
back.
there.
Thank you.
And well, because I came back because I figured I'm the only one who can get you out at the top of the hour on time.
Probably true.
It's really true.
I'll still be talking at 10 after.
But look at all the calls you got.
I did. Well, let's see.
You got all of those?
So we got to still go to Joe. Can we go to Joe?
We better go really fast.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. So my question is, I retired in October 2023, took my pension out, left my 403B invested through the employer. It's in a tax shelter annuity, and it's grown quite nicely. Is there any reason I need to take it out of that Vanguard? Take it out of Vanguard. They actually put it in a JP Morgan account.
Wow. Here's the thing with this. This is one of those questions that's going to require a lot of knowledge specific to the product without being able to look it up. This is one of those kinds of questions. I have to say it. Hang on after the break, and I'll tell you what.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Welcome back. Talking Real Money, live.
Yeah, I didn't have my headphones on.
Bellevue.
I am not, I'm so baffled, Joe. You say it's with Vanguard, but with JP Morgan?
Yeah, it was a little confusing.
It's an annuity with Vanguard that's invested with JP Morgan.
They rolled it over from Vanguard into a JP Morgan Smart Blend.
Who did the rolling?
Inside of the 403B?
Yes. It's through my former employer, HMO.
Well, somebody didn't do you. I don't think they did the right thing by you. I think somebody gave you some really terrible advice on the face of it. Now, again, without seeing the exact product, but you say it's a variable annuity?
It's It's a tax shelter annuity.
Okay, first of all,
inside a 403B.
You have tax shelter in a 403B.
Right, no, but they sell tax sheltered annuities
I know
inside
what you're talking about,
tax sheltered 403B.
Makes no sense.
The fact of the matter is, and I just, again, first blush, I think you got a bad bit of advice. I think this was a big mistake. But it's done already, and whether it needs to be undone or not is one of those things that really requires some study. And that means it would require you to either meet with an advisor or, it would require you to meet with an advisor. I don't think there's another option. Yep. I don't know how else you're going to get there. I would suggest, and this is something we suggest for anybody who needs help, and this is all of you listening. We help people all the time, and we do it for free. We really, truly do it for free. Just go to talkingrealmoney.com, click on the button that says Meet an Advisor. Then you can set up an appointment to meet with one of our advisors, which could include Tom, and they will look at your situation and give you some idea what might be the best course of action without trying to sell you anything. I really believe you got some terrible advice from a commission salesperson who made a big fat commission moving this from a non-commission company, Vanguard, into a high commission company, JP Morgan. So my guess is they made a 5 or 6 or 7% commission on this deal at your expense. Sure, it's making money. Investments, it's hard to have any investment that doesn't make something. But the devil's in the details, and that's what we'd have to look at. So we really appreciate that. Go to talkingrealmoney.com. Click on the button that says Meet an Advisor. And if you want to ask us questions, go to talkingrealmoney.com anytime. Click on the Contact Us button and either type your question up or you can speak it, and we'll answer that on a future podcast or radio show. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Oh, is it a whole minute left? All right, Tom, you were
giving me a bad time for getting out at the wrong time.
You know, and I'm just looking at my clock. I read it wrong.
I'm going to go ahead and say thank you to everyone who came here today. We have a nice young lady who joined us here in the audience. The only one left after all this time.
I know. She's loyal.
I appreciate that. She's a fellow Bellevue Wolverine, so she's hanging out.
Oh, another one of you?
I know. There's a couple still around. So thank you all for being part of this event. Thank you for the
Did you guys go to school together?
We pretty close. So thank you for all of that. Thank you to Ricky, who
Thanks, Ricky.
Devilishly hard to make all this happen. Thank you to everyone who spoke. It was a great day. We're not quite done here.
Tom and I are going to go in and do a Q&A thing for a while. And then, you know what I'm going to do?
You're going to go home and talk real money?
Take a nap. No.
Take a nap.
I'm just going to take a nap.
I figured. And you deserve it.
Suggest you all go to talkingrealmoney.com if you want more stuff and to learn more about everything we do.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions. Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy. Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services. Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. And the lawyers get richer.